Hey guys, Jordan Ben here, strength coach from Hockey Development Training. Today I'm going to show you a few exercises to help strengthen our hip flexors. So this is a very common area for injuries in hockey players, both young hockey players and all the way up to the pro guys. It's just simple wear and tear because we use them a lot. There's not a lot of ways that we can directly train them, and the reality is that we need to train them with just some body weight stuff, getting a little more endurance in there. We don't need to load them with a ton of weight, but they need some activation so that they are strong and they are ready for the demands that we're going to place upon them. So just a couple simple exercises you can do, and then a few progressions on those to make sure that your hip flexors are going to remain healthy. And that's important to obviously reduce injury, because if you're injured, you're going to miss some game time, some practice time, which is going to cut into our development, and then also into our gym training sessions, which will limit our strength gains and power gains that we could have gained throughout the season and in the off season as well. So the first one is just called the wall stride. So we'll put our hands on the wall. We'll lean into the wall slightly and raise our leg up, hold, and back down. 1, 2, then back down. 1, 2, and back down. We'll switch sides, we'll do 5. Okay, so that's the first one. The wall stride is a very simple drill. We just want to make sure that we can hold up there on our own and that our hip is not sinking down or sagging. And another one that we can do to test and see where our hamstring or our hip flexor strength is at is pull up, leave here, and if we start to drop it all, that's a sign of a weak hip flexor and that we do need some strengthening in there. And don't worry, a lot of people would be like that, but that's an area that you should focus on to help you prevent injuries in the long term and down the road. This one I'm going to use a resistance band. I just have a medium resistance band here tied to a weight plate so that it won't move. I can also use my other foot to keep that steady on the weight plate as well. So I'll start by putting this around my quad, upper leg. Even if you had a shorter one, you could attach it to the other foot. Just make sure it comes off to the inside so we can move in straight lines. So from here, extend up, hold, 3, 2, 1, and then back down, all the way up. So we're working into maximum hip flexion here. So as far as we can pull ourselves in, we're getting a hip split on the other side by keeping that leg straight, and then we're just resisting against the band, pulling us back in. And we're looking for a set of 5 of those on each leg. I'll show you a couple from the other side so you can see what the hip split will look like on this side. Putting in, this leg is straight for the hip split, this leg is resisting against the band, all the way back in, pull, back in. Again, if you need to keep your hand on here to make sure it doesn't fall off, so you go back, by all means, keep that band there, pull. And this is another progression, so we'll go back into the wall now. We have the same band on the same weight. Now we'll need to adjust that. You might also need to throw another weight on top of that one to keep it where it's at. So we're going to have a little resistance. We want it up around our mid quad. Going to hold into the wall, pulling up. It's going to try to pull us back down and drop back down. So the problem I'm having here is it's sliding up my legs, so I'm going to have to put it right on bare skin so it doesn't slide up and down as much. Pull up, hold, and and down. So we want to make sure that we straighten it, get the full extension, and our hip is forward after every rep. Pull up, 3, 2, 1, and back down. And we want to make sure we're not using too heavy of a resistance. So I could probably even go lighter here to grab a little bit better of a range, pull all the way up. If we can only get to here, it's too heavy. We want to make sure that we do get into that fully flexed position. And this is obviously another chance where we can work on our ankle flexion as well. So we're going to keep our toes pointed up towards our body, as if we were taking a step on the ice and developing power with this exercise. So we're training the hip flexor, but we want to make sure we maintain that good posture, hip split, and positive angles, all things that will help us on the ice. So give these a try if we're feeling some hip flexor pain, or we have in the past. Make sure that we keep those healthy and we do give them a little bit of work and some maintenance so that they don't wear down or get overused in the season. And again, we just want to run through a set or two of about five of these on each side. We don't want to overdo it and wear them out by training.